Hello, my name is Jesse and welcome to Inkle Notes. This is my very first video and I couldn't think of a better way to start this channel than by talking about the pen that got me into the fountain pen hobby. This was my very first fountain pen, the clear Pilot Kakuno. I actually got this as a birthday present back in 2023, and safe to say, my fountain pen collection has grown a lot since then. But this pen will always have a special place in my collection. I'm sure there are already plenty of reviews of this pen on YouTube, so instead of giving a full review, I just wanted to share my own experience, what I like about it, why I still reach for it, and why I genuinely think this is one of the best beginner fountain pens you can buy. It does come in several different colors, but I personally love this clear version because you can see the ink sloshing around inside, and I like how easy it is to see whether I need to top up my ink. Here in Australia, you can still find this pen for about 15 Australian dollars on Amazon, which I honestly think is a fantastic value for money. Mine has a medium nib, and if you're new to fountain pens, Japanese nibs are generally finer than Western nibs, so even though this is a medium, it writes more like a Western fine. One thing I've always loved about Pilot is how consistent their nibs are. Every Pilot pen I've owned has written beautifully straight out of the box, and this Kakuno was no exception. The pen itself is also incredibly lightweight, which makes it really comfortable for longer writing sessions. I personally like to post my pens, so it is quite comfortable for my grip when it is posted, but I can also write with it unposted. So either way works. Even after owning this pen for a couple of years now, and I've inked it countless of times, the clear plastic has actually held up really well. I haven't noticed much staining or discoloration, particularly where the feed is, which is honestly surprising to me. The Kakuno originally came with Pilot ink cartridges, but then I eventually upgraded to the Con 70 converter, which is this one. I just prefer using bottled inks because there are so many beautiful colors to choose from. This pen is inked with the Pilot Iroshizuku Ajisai, which means hydrangea, and I think it's such a fitting name because it's a beautiful blue-purple that really reminds me of hydrangea flowers. Alright, let's do a quick writing sample. And for this pen test, I'm going to use my Rhodia notepad. As expected, it is incredibly smooth. Even though this is a medium nib, you can see that the lines are still fairly fine. You do get a little bit of feedback, but it's the pleasant kind of feedback. I wouldn't say it is scratchy at all. As you can see, it is a fairly wet writer, which is exactly what I enjoy. The ink lays down nicely, the writing feels effortless, and everything just feels really consistent. Honestly, that's probably the biggest compliment I can give to this pen. What I love about it is how it's always so reliable. In fact, this has become my benchmark, so whenever I buy a fountain pen, I always compare it to this one, and that is why I will always still reach for this pen. It's affordable, fun to write with, easy to maintain, and most of all, it is just a joy to use. So if you're thinking about buying your first fountain pen, I really don't think you can go wrong with the Pilot Kakuno. And that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. I have plenty more fountain pen reviews, ink swatches, stationery, and probably some journaling content planned for this channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!